Alright, nice day. Yay! Anyway, a little cool, but it's going to warm up the next few days, so that's nice of it. Anyway, yeah, really busy. Work to do. Running late, of course, because I can't sleep at night. I wake up, you know, at 12 o'clock at night. And it's just not a good plan to wake up then. So anyway, I actually, feel better at night than I do during the day, which doesn't work out either. So anyway, that's sort of what I want to talk about. Professor Anton made another psychology video, really, just about how you live this life thing. I can't remember how he phrased at the end, and said something like, not the meaning of life, but understanding what life means, something like that. And that's not really... Oh. Ow. Hope I didn't break anything. Camera still working? Yeah. Fell down. Yes, vines. Goddamn vine. Tripped me. Anyway, it was my fault. I'm not feeble yet. Yeah. I'm not dead yet. Yeah, it really is over. Anyway, but yeah, I've been falling a lot in the last few years, just because, the stroke thing and stuff. That'll be my excuse. Anyway. Ow. Ow. Anyway. Stop it. Alright, anyway. See, this is the point. Is that life does this shit to you, So, I mean, it's all this wonderful talk about, mind over matter. I'm all for in principle, the idea of, get your mental discipline on, put on your mental discipline cap, and, don't allow your psychology to own you. Be the master of yourself, as if there was some way to do that. But yeah, obviously there's little thought patterns, little routines you can have that'll keep you from being too big an asshole. Not like getting too lost in it, because you'll know the patterns, you'll see it in the past, and you'll know what to look out for. But some of it you just can't stop. And you feel like puke, it's hard to get motivated. And sometimes when you feel pretty good, you just can't find the mental diagram that makes it worth it. You want to just bask in it. And it's just so complicated in terms of how we have to live our lives, because we do have to do this interaction with fucking people thing, which he thinks is a good thing. I just think it's horrible. Yeah, because it's work. That's what it is. Most of it. Most relationships are taker relationships, not giver. So, at least in my experience. So yeah, it's not a great idea to have more of that. It's like when a cat shows up, you don't give me shit. Just gives me worry and obligation. So anyway, yeah, so it's the whole psychology thing. I certainly make the argument that we shouldn't be bored at any rate. There's always something to get, contrive a motivation to do. Little goals to set and all that kind of crap, so sure. But to frame this as a worldview, that's the part that pisses me off. It's not a worldview. It's a little person, stoic, whatever, crapola. Even conceded it. Well, if life's a game and you're just a pawn, he didn't say that, but that's what the implication was. Just be the best little pawn you can. I mean, it's just such a pile of crap. Why should you? Just because you're here? Complaining is as good as anything else in terms of a thing to do. And maybe those complaints can transcend, yourself and actually prevent some future harm, which would be a huge benefit. And so he sort of made that point too, is that we all got to find ourselves, and that somebody can't do it for you. Well, I think that's bullshit too. Somebody can do the legwork of life, have some experiences, come back from the war, loony and insane, and kind of teach you that, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to do that. You know, pay is good, but yeah, apparently killing people fucks with your head, so I don't think I'll do that. Randomly killing people, orders and such. You know, it's not like they, you know, raped your wife or anything. No, you're just killing them, turn their sons and daughters into orphans. Yeah, just because some guy told you to. Yeah, I guess that might fuck with your head. But anyway, that's not the subject of this video. But that's a whole psychological study right there. And is that the meaning of life? Being a good little soldier? I don't think so. I don't think that's getting it. I don't think that's understanding the meaning. You know, the meaning is shit. That's the damn truth. And so we're just caught up in this cycle of it. We're one rendition in a whole series of renditions. And like I said, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with selling the snake oil of get the best out of yourself you can. Just, you know, anything that makes people more effective is great. But if the premise is to do that, you have to become some sort of solipsistic, nihilistic, self-indulgent, self-loving, self-forgiving, self-obsessed turd, yeah, well then fuck that. Yeah, obviously you're not going to build much of a person. So now we're back to my argument, which is the measure of a man isn't what he intends to be, what he inspires to be, what he hopes to be. The measure of a man isn't how content his own mind is with himself, how self-comfortable he is, how self-actualized he might be, because his ambitions might be pitifully useless to the world around him. And that's the real game. You just can't ignore the game nature. There's other players. They have just as much meaning and importance from any rational perspective as you do. Your checker piece is indistinguishable from all the little other roundy black or red things. You're all just little plastic bits to be shuffled about, you know, messed with as the gameplay goes on. And the only way to be outstanding is in how you jump the game, how your piece involves itself in some sort of action that creates benefit to the rest of the pieces, both black and red. But somehow you spare them the harm of failure or defeat or some other kind of suffering. Well, then you've accomplished something. Then you have some productive value to maybe justify forgiving yourself. But there's no point in forgiving yourself when you're just a taking blight on the board. But the end game is your performance. It doesn't really matter what you intend. It matters in a, you know, human-friendly kind of way. But as to your actual impact and productivity, that's just not the measure. It's a different ruler when you're being real, when you're getting real about reality. Yeah, the ruler's different. And you actually have to put out. You can't just talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk and all that kind of crap. And some people do it completely by accident. They have horrible intentions and they end up doing something good. Like maybe, you know, a serial killer who accidentally, without knowing it, kills a child molester. He fell into the perhaps a benefit to society greater than the harms he's committed against society. He prevented more suffering than he caused in the end, and that's really the measure. He provided for more comfort, maybe is a better way to put it. Maybe you people will like that better. He provided for more comfort, but it's all the same thing. So anyway, that's the real, you got to stay with the real game. So talking as if you can live your own little life internally and win really doesn't work unless you intend to be completely disconnected from reality. Unless you have some capacity to have no or little or infinitesimal influence in the world or on the world. Otherwise, if you're going to be in the game, then play it well. Maximize your potential. Now, some would argue I haven't done that, and it's likely true, because it's hard. It's hard to be what you're required to be sometimes. It's hard to do what's necessary in the circumstance. Some of us might think ourselves kind of heroic by nature in the sense that we're self-sacrificing. But when push comes to shove, maybe we're just having a weak day when opportunity knocks, and we're just not going to feel like jumping on the grenade. We're just not going to have patience, and we're going to cut off a relationship with somebody we've known for a long time just because we're pissed off and we're sick of it, and we just don't have patience. And we get drunk even, and then that's game over, and we're all vulnerable to that. Hey, how you doing? And that guy's probably an antinatalist. He's kind of down most of the time, but he goes for walks with the dogs. It can't be all bad, right? Just doesn't do it with a happy face. So anyway, just the nature of it. It's so hard to fight through your own personality, your own maybe depressive nature, fatigue. Lots of things prevent us from, seizing the day, because we've been through a lot of days that seized us. And we're just kind of seized, our cylinders are gotten kind of scorched, and everything's a little gummy, and the gear work is a little, full of friction, and we just can't get it rolling like we could in the past. But look, in theory, we should be able to grease our brain with the juice of, fail is fail. So try not to fail. This fail is fail. So don't acquiesce to fail. Try to do something other than fail. And sometimes that's the best we can do. Or, like I said, we have other disciplines in our little brain. We can keep engineering a way to keep us running. But it's so hard to judge, because each person is fighting different boogeymen, different adversaries. In all of our nightmares, there's a different Freddy coming to get us. And some of them just aren't that easy to fool. They keep clinging with their claws on our balls. And so how the hell can you judge? It's you can just encourage people to try to have enough mental discipline to realize that they they're here, you gotta fight. But I wouldn't fight for your life. I'd fight for the discontinuation of the game, ultimately. But anything that gives people perspective on the game is a win. People got to understand that it's a game. It's been played over and over and over. The outcome is always stupid. And it's time to quit building the pieces. It's time to quit maintaining the infrastructure. It's time to let it fade into a little dark period of molecular history where, yes, it was very interesting, but it was also very harmful. It was very destructive. There was much sadness endured. So, any hootie, I think that's enough of a video. Yeah. So, I gotta put in some few hours here. Work. And I'll be tired and despondent. And so. Anyway, till next time.